Welcome back, welcome back. Derren Brown has become one of the world's most famous magicians and psychological illusionists, rivaling the likes of David Blaine and David Copperfield. He says he's no psychic, but seems to have the power to read minds. He can also dodge bullets and make nice people do rather nasty things. His new show, Enigma, is now on in London at the Adelphi. And Derren is here with me now. Derren, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this programme around the world. Now, tell me that one description, you said once that your work is a mixture of magic, suggestion, psychology, misdirection, and showmanship.
It's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah.
But that's it. Those are the five. Which is the most important?
Ooh, I think it depends. There's sort of a wide range of things. The point, I suppose, of saying it is that it isn't psychic and that it isn't supernatural. I'm sort of very sceptical about those things. But the effect can often look like mind reading, or can look like I am psychic, but I'm not. So it's a wide range of psychological and sometimes conjuring techniques to create that.
Can you read people's minds?
You can read thoughts if they're thought of in a particular way. If you're with somebody who's, it's easier with some people than others certainly, but it's not actual psychic mind reading. But it can look like it. But it depends on a lot of psychological factors. It depends on the person I'm doing it with and so on.
So now, Uri Geller, for instance, does say he has certain psychic powers, which I think very likely probably has some. But you don't go into that area.
No, I don't. When I was little, I always used to take toys apart, and often I couldn't put them back together again, but I think I just have that mentality of wanting to find out how things really work. And for me, once something is labelled psychic or supernatural, you sort of stop asking questions, you stop investigating. So I have a love of that whole world and that aesthetic, if you like, but no, I tend to look for psychological explanations rather than the paranormal ones.
Rather than paranormal,
yeah.
Right. And well, can you give us some demonstration of that?
Yes, of course. It's all right. Well, if you were to think of something in your mind, it can be an object or a place or a random word or something, and change your mind a few times so that you settle on something you're happy is random and not something. I'd maybe try and avoid things like cats and dogs and houses, things that immediately might come to mind. But if you've got something in your head?
Yes, definitely.
Lovely, okay, lovely. So if you picture that for me, if you imagine a picture of that thing, if it's something you can picture in some way, in the back of your mind, and then slowly, keeping that image quite bright and vivid, and I often ask people to imagine it's like a big IMAX screen with bright, colourful, vibrant image on it, and start to bring it, so it's small at the moment, but forward from the back of your mind to the front of your mind, and as you do it, just try and keep the image solid. And now that's quite a complex image, I think, which just, so we're going to try and hope, and there's a little bit of mind changing in there as well, which confuses me. I think it's a place of some sort.
No.
Okay. Can you go back in your mind? I think there was a place. Just go, there was a place.
No, since you asked me, I've only thought of this one thing.
Okay, all right.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Can you say it in your mind? Just say, not out loud, obviously don't give anything away. So that, okay, I can tell you that's a short word. Now, as you're saying it now, as I'm not reading your mind, this isn't psychic, but it's a short word that will begin with a guttural sound, I think like a C or a G. I think that's a C, careful, don't give... the word I'm getting, this probably won't be right, but it's something like a constable, or that's probably not right, is it? But a longer word beginning with a C, something like constable. I think if you say the word, it'll sound a bit like it, even though it may not actually be that. What was it?
What was the word?
Yes.
Cigar.
Cigar. Okay. All right. So that's wrong. But can we just go to this place?
But you got the
but
C.
there was
you
a
got
place.
The sound.
Yes. I think there was a place there that went through your head. Just go back in your mind and just focus on a place for a second. Yeah. Now, see there, for me, that's an image that I get, which is it's a little bit like this. It's a big city of some sort. Yeah. And it's not sort of Far East. It's sort of European, and I don't know my cities that well. I would say we're probably looking at either Florence or Milan or somewhere like that.
Well, that is impressive. Yes, it's Milan.
You're thinking of Milan.
Yeah.
I don't know what Milan quite looks like, but it was
No,
definitely a big
I was
Italian.
struggling to get a picture of Milan,
Yeah.
because my picture of Milan is of Jose Mourinho,
Okay,
the
perhaps a place
manager.
that you know well, I'm sure.
But no, that was spot on.
That's spot on. Yeah. So that's
what a relief for us all.
What a relief for us all. Yes, for me especially. So yes, it isn't psychic, and it works differently with different people. But
how did you get Milan then?
Well, it's as far as I'm concerned, if we focus on anything, whether it's an emotion or an image or a thought, it'll always leak out in some way. There'll be something that will come out. And for me, that isn't a psychic thing. Some people might think of it as psychic, but I don't. And then once I start talking in the same way that a psychic, in inverted commas, might give the impression of being able to tell you everything about yourself, whereas in fact they're probably just giving you information, letting you pick up on things and making it fit, and then taking credit for themselves for what you've just simply made fit. So it sort of becomes a bit of a dialogue. So I fish and find my way and look for signals that you're giving off, and sometimes get it, sometimes don't. It's about 90% of the time.
I don't have a cigar in the pocket. That would have given.
No,
it
that would
away.
have been.
But luckily, now when you did this amazing Russian roulette thing. Was there real danger in that, or was that still a trick?
That was, so this was a few years ago, and the plot was that I'd have somebody load, this is on live television, they loaded a 6-barrel gun with one bullet, and they numbered the outside of the chamber so they knew which number it was in. I had them count from 1 to 6, and in a similar way that we've just done, the idea was that they would, as they would count, they try not to give anything away, but because they knew which one of those numbers held a bullet, that I knew they'd do something, there'd be some leakage, they'd do something that would give away to me the number that they were apprehensive about. And then I shot the gun against my head 5 times, and 1 time away. Actually, I shot it away twice. I was wrong once, and then I got it right the second time. And it's a similar thing. It's a mixture of those psychological techniques, plus, obviously, I'm on live television with a gun at my head, and I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing. And and I decided if I wasn't 100% sure, I wouldn't do it. So it's. I sort of don't like to give away everything in detail, but it's a mixture of those techniques, the psychological techniques, and a certain amount of showmanship, I suppose, as well.
Well, and if people want to see and hear more, they should trot along to the Adelphi Theatre.
They most certainly should.
How many live shows have you done now in your career? A great many.
Yes, I've for about 8 years now. I think this is the 8th year of doing tours and West End shows. It's a new show every couple of years, and I just love it. It's lovely to do it with real people live, so that they know it isn't just a television construct and actually does work for real.
In real. Well, we've enjoyed your experience in that here today,
yeah.
and good luck with the next theatre show and the next tour.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Pleasure to see you too. Thank you so much.
Derren Brown, unique skills there. In a minute, someone rather different. Does God play politics? After this break.